Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gosh, I love that you guys are already telling us where everyone's from. Canada, Denver, Houston, lots of Texas, Toronto, California, Colorado, Missouri, Ontario. I love it. Hey, guys. Okay, I'm really excited to go over all of this stuff with you. And I got to tell you, I have slides and I am not excellent at presenting them in a way that does not show you my browser top. So just ignore that part and pretend that you can only see the slides. And that's because I have notes and I learn things every day and technology is cool. So excuse me for not being super tech savvy because I thought that I was. And then, of course, when things are live, it's like, no, not the case. There's a lot of you here. Hey. Oh, India. Oh, yay. Tennessee. Is it? Oh, nice. Welcome, you guys. Okay, so before we jump in, we're going over a lot of information. And I also have Nikki Hess joining us. She's a member of the flock. She is going to talk about her experience with exactly what we will be going over tonight and how she had incredible growth. So as we dive in, I recommend having something to take notes because we're going to be covering a lot. Really quickly, of course, this is available for replay, but having a notebook on hand will be really good. And I also encourage you to use the Ask a Question tab that you see. It will be easier for me to get to Q&As, which I will do at the end of this. And rather than looking at the chat, because while I do really want to be able to look at the chat, I am going to really prioritize Ask a Question. So use that button and then I'll get to them at the end of our time together. All right, let's jump in and do this. We got some information to go over about emails. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to talk myself through it because I'm a big girl who can use technology. So, all right, I'm here to hide. Okay, you guys can see that screen okay? Hover here to hide. Cool. I know that you also see my browser window, and I'm sorry. It's because I don't know how to use technology. And okay, so I'll be bringing Nikki in just a little bit, but we're going to jump into like some essentials real quick. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is that I value your time. So the rundown of what to expect tonight is very straightforward. We're going to talk about it, whether you need an email list. And the spoiler hint is yes. The formula for growth, I'm going to talk to you guys about that. We're going to have proof of concept, why and how easy this formula will be for you. And if you do it correctly, you will inevitably grow. We're going to talk to Nikki about her experience, and then I'm going to give you guys some action items so that you actually have a game plan. That's the one thing that I think that is often missing so much is actually a game plan. So you might be asking to yourself or aloud to your cat, do you need an email list if you are just ... If you're just beginning, if you're just an artist that's selling your work, or if you're just trying to license, no matter what field you're in, really, do you need an email address if you're just ... The first thing I want to say is that you're not just anything. You are 100% encompassing exactly what you are and what you do, which is great. The answer is that you do beautiful things and you're going to continue to do beautiful things. So the short answer is yes, but then the long answer is kind of like yes and no, and it's complicated. So that's exactly what we're going to dive into. But it's one of those things where if you have an email list, then you have your direct contact to people. You have a space that has been carved out and curated exactly for, you know, how you want to reach people directly. So I'm just going to really quickly, before we get into that, talk about my personal proof of concept. For those of you who don't know me, by the way, hey, my name's Peggy Dean. My email story is this. So I had an email list, and it was just one of those like free things, like a free plan or something on Mailchimp or something. And, I was already doing all the things that I'm doing now. And I mean, I was successful at them, but the one thing that I was really lacking was my email list. And I had about 1,500 on my email list, which isn't bad at all. Like, that's an awesome number, especially for not actually putting a lot into it. But, I was learning. I didn't have a system in place. I didn't have a good, attractive space that people could sign up for it. I didn't really have a method of when I sent out what. But I changed my entire approach when I realized that it was so critical to my growth and scale to be able to contact people directly. And within 8 months, I went from 1,500 subscribers to over 20,000. So that is substantial growth in a very short amount of time. Okay, so you get it. I know, like, you've heard you need an email. You've heard there are formulas that work, blah, 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 if you put what you need into it. But now I want to talk about how to actually do this. So the most important part, other than nurturing your list, is how to actually get people to sign up in the first place. And this is where you have to have high converting lead magnets. A lead magnet, this is a definition that I made up, but it's essentially an eye-catching incentive on your site, on your social media, on, wherever it lives. Maybe you're a teacher. It could be in your class format, something like that. It is an eye-catching incentive that people see and want badly enough that they are willing to provide their email address in order to get it. Think about it like, you're going through so many websites a day. You see so many sign up for my newsletters. And when someone sees the words sign up for my newsletter, like, how many people actually sign up for a newsletter? Unless you specifically are like, I know this person has like these launches and they're an artist I'm obsessed with and I haven't been able to get any of their stuff. Of course, I'm going to sign up. Like, there are times for it, but overall, it's your lead magnet. That's your money maker, is your lead magnet. So they should include exclusive offers only for your subscribers, nobody else. They might include, not when I said should, I meant might. They might include early access to something that you're launching soon. Early access is huge. I don't want to call myself a collector, but I do have some artists who I am subscribed to specifically so I can have early access to their collections that they release, because I'm obsessed with their work and I want to make sure I can snag one before anybody else. So it could be early access to something you're launching. It could be free resources. That's what I do in my case, because I have a ton of educational content that I want to shove onto everybody all the time. It might be behind the scenes where you tease how your subscribers can get up close and raw and personal with you. It could be actionable items that help people achieve something. So we're going to go over specifics here in a bit, but I'm going to tell you what your lead magnet, I'm just going to remind you what your lead magnet should not be. It should not be a vague opt-in form that says, sign up for my newsletter. It just should never be that. Never. Never ever, no matter how beautiful it is. Because if you had some beautifully branded opt-in form for your site and it was so lovely, it would be such a shame to not have anybody sign up for it just because of the lack of offer of value that it had. My cat is in the way of my screen. Okay. So lead magnets should check these following boxes. It's really straightforward, but yeah, Dana said it might as well be sign up to be bored. Yeah, that's pretty much right. Okay, so lead magnets should be engaging. So it means that they should prompt action from the viewer naturally. So, when you see an image that kind of evokes emotion or makes you have a chuckle or makes you excited about something, or like, if you see like a pair of shoes that you totally weren't expecting and they're like, whoa, like they put some holographic weird stuff, but it's just so subtle and it doesn't really make sense. And it's like with this confetti lace, but they look like white shoes. Like I have to have those. That's just something I made up. And you're welcome, Nike, for taking my idea. When you like put something in the universe and then it like materializes and you're like, but that was my idea. I was the inventor. I didn't go on Shark Tank. It's never mind. I'm giving myself way too much credit for the bad shoe scenario metaphor. But they should be so engaging, and they offer, like, they know what your customers' wants are, they know what your customers' needs are, and they offer an immediate solution, okay? Which is value. So they should next provide value. So piggybacking on being engaging, free high quality content equals tremendous value. So if you can offer something that's relevant to what you do, your lead magnet won't seem like some slimy sales trap. It will seem like much more on the terms of what you want. Like, you don't want to offer something that is throwaway content or something that isn't that exciting, because it should be basically something that you can then offer to, sorry, I was trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. Something that you offer anyway. So something that kind of hurts to give away. Because then people are going to be able to get a taste of what it is that you offer, and they're going to want more of it. So the next is your lead magnet should position your brand, personal brand, your whatever, as authoritative. So this just puts you in a space of trust. It gives you the opportunity to position yourself as an expert in your industry or an expert in your art. And it's a quick way to share what you do and why it will be beneficial to other people. And then they should be shareable. So this one's often missed. You don't need only like one lead magnet form. So you could have different pages on your website that have different types of forms. You could have lead magnets that are, square for Instagram posts, or, Pinterest size or IG story size, or wherever you put this lead magnet. Like, having multiple options. I offer free classes on Skillshare. I mean, like if you sign up with my link, you get free 2 weeks. And I have I think 20 different styles of graphics. And then all of those have their formatting sizes. So, that's not like my typical draw of a lead magnet. It's just like my example of one that I know I have a lot of options for, depending on where I put those. So I'm going to use my personal example as a walkthrough so that you can see some key call outs. I just want to also mention, though, mine is so loud and in your face, but I am so loud and my brand is so in your face. So yours definitely doesn't have to be as loud. You don't have to have your picture up, things like that. But I'm going to walk through exactly what mine looks like. And the first thing I want to mention is that it's brief. So all the 4 boxes that I just mentioned, these guys, it seems like you have to include a whole lot, but I have summarized it in a way to allow for easy digesting. It's separated, it's easy to digest. And I could probably do better. I'm not an expert at graphic design, but this is something, I know what has worked for me substantially and helped me raise my conversion from website to on my what's it called? My email list. So first of all, you'll see that my offer is very clear. I'm offering something for free. If you can figure something out that makes sense for you to apply to provide for a lead magnet that is free, that is what will hook most people. I offer an abundance of resources, so I chose to make my offer more broad and vague, which is not necessarily ideal. The more specific that you can get with your offer, the better. So, you know, let's say you have a blog and you talk, like you do a whole, like maybe your blog is all about photography and you do a bunch of reviews on cameras, on lenses, on adapter, like all the things that go along with it. And you make your money on affiliate links. Let's just pretend. So a good offer for that could be like a cheat sheet or a cheat guide, a workbook to scenarios of settings. So like, let's say in the morning when the sun is about to come up, you're, you know, like morning, dawn till dusk or dusk till dawn? Dusk till dawn. So it's dusk. Okay. Let's say dusk settings, ideal settings for all different types of lighting scenarios. So you got dusk, right? And dawn. You've got indoor, you've got dark, night, wedding, things like that. You could have a cheat sheet for like ideal aperture, ISO, and shutter speed for each one of those conditions. Obviously, that's like give or take. I'm learning so much about that right now, which is why I have this is my example. But you could have a cheat sheet guide, which I would totally sign up for if anyone's a photographer and wants to offer me a cheat sheet for all of those scenarios as I'm learning how to work a manual camera. But so that would be like an awesome thing to get me on your email list. And then you could send me emails that are like, you know, going over the latest reviews or whatever it is that you do. Like, that's cool. But that's the lead magnet that would make sense to be more specific. But on the flip side, your offer should be so good that it's something that you would otherwise sell. So if with using that as an example, it would be really good if it was like, you know, 8 pages long, which honestly, like, you could just like space out your graphics and maybe, you know, have text that just, you know, have a beautiful picture next to like text, and you could make this 8 pages long, and like really it should have been 1.5 pages. So you know, just like play with graphics on that, but have a workbook, you know? So your offer should be so good that it's something that you would otherwise sell. So if it's content that you produce regularly and sell, it's essentially like providing a teaser for your audience. It's something that's valuable, that gives people a taste of what you offer, and they will want more of it. That is what we want. That's our goal. The second call out on mine is an actual photo that provides a visual of what people will receive. And having this visual image in a photo helps them kind of like visualize it in their space. It's not super lifestyle-y, like I could do better, but having something that is like, it's not just words, like it's showing you exactly what you can expect, even though mine has like so much stuff in it. But it takes the guesswork out of what they'll be receiving so that they're not hesitant to opt in. It's just right there. They don't have to think about that aspect as they're thinking about giving their email address. My third call out is the most obvious. And again, this is not necessary, but I have put a Godzilla-sized photo of myself in my lead magnet. And I'm going to tell you that when my webpage is loaded and you have a 27-inch Mac, it's really intense to see my face that big. But it personalizes, I know I'm a lot, but it personalizes my offer. So depending on your brand, it might be helpful to include a photo if you show up a lot in your brand. And, you know, I show up a lot around my website, but that's also because that makes sense for me as an educator, you know. But as an artist, like people want to know the artist behind, you know, what it is they're doing. So it might be great there too. Like maybe not your lead magnet, but just show up, you know. but they'll be able to better relate to you, learn to know you. And the biggest part is trust and invest in you as a personal brand. And if your brand doesn't include you showing up like this, it really is not necessary. Don't worry. But lastly, which is the most important part, I've included an embedded opt-in form rather than like a button that's like, click here to learn more, or click here to access, and that's where they sign up. Having it embedded right there with the offer then they don't have to like click around all over the place to subscribe, which, they might come back to, but if it's right there, it's just easy for them. Excuse me. Some opt-in forms make this a lot easier than others. Mine was a little bit clunky, and what happened was when I tried to put in my form, like the first name, email address, and button in the actual image, depending on the browser size, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not HTML savvy. I don't want to hear about it. I was getting sick of having like, when it was a smaller frame, it would like go in the wrong place on the image, and you stretch it out and it would go way over here on the image. And I'm like, I'm not having that. And so I just did a small embedded form and called it a day. It's still right underneath my loud graphic. It matches. It's great. Having it in the actual image will be even better for you. Okay. That said, before building your lead magnet, personally, let's get personal, let's get specific. You want to keep your end goal in mind. So ask yourself the following questions when building lead magnets. All right. I'm just going to take a cute drink of water. That was so cute. Okay. What do I offer? This is big because you don't want to offer something in a lead magnet that's irrelevant to what you actually do. Okay. Second question is, what's my end goal in building my email address or my email list? What's my end goal there? Like, what is having an email list going to do for me? What kind of stuff am I going to offer people? Because your lead magnet shouldn't end your offer shouldn't end with your lead magnet. You should continue to provide value. Whether that be like, you could take lead magnet ideas and insert those into your actual emails. So my email list is growing. What am I saying? My email list has grown, but I send out freebies every single Friday. But in those freebies, I also have like, what's been added to the blog. Those are tutorials, educational step-by-steps that people can follow. And then I kind of sandwich in sales at the very bottom. And if people like them, then they like them. If they don't, they don't. I'm a soft seller. I don't like to throw things in people's faces. I just think, nah. So I'd rather have it be organic like me, because if someone does buy something, they're going to get what they see and nothing's going to be, so that way you can sandwich offers. Obviously you don't have to do freebies and blog posts and tutorials and all that stuff. You don't have to. It could just be like, your people who's signing up know that they're going to get first access to your collections. And that is plenty reason for someone to sign up. So ask yourself what you offer and what is your end goal in building your email list. Getting more specific, I wanted to talk about examples of different creative careers and what they might offer. So these are just really quick, but if let's say you're an author, if you can create a mini ebook that supports your main book, then that's going to be awesome. So it might be, 10 pages, or it might be 12 pages. 12, that's 10, Peggy, 10 pages or 30 pages. And it gives people, it's a hook. So you're giving somebody something of value. They're interested in what they're reading. It doesn't conclude there and you have to buy the book, but it's enough to where it's oh gosh, I'm super interested in this. Now I want to buy this book too. And it's like a soft way of advertising while still offering something of value. So if they don't buy, they have a good taste in their mouth of you. Bad. Shouldn't have said it. Artists could offer free printables. I know a lot of artists who do this, and it's basically a digitized, beautiful piece of work that you offer as a high quality print that they can, download that they can then print on their own. They can send it to a printer or print it from home, however they want to do it. But then they have a piece of your artwork that they got for free. And then they will be able to continue on your list. A travel blogger, if you find a good travel blogger, like you want their info, trust, or like any kind of blogger, but you will find that offering something like the ultimate packing list, that's great. Like if you have a packing list for each scenario, like you're going someplace where the weather is going to be all sorts of different, like there's a packing list for that. There's a packing list for when you're expecting snow and rain and hail. There's a packing list for super, super hot weather, activity-based things like, are you going to be doing any fishing? I don't know. It's fun. But having resources like that will be super helpful. Before I had the ever-growing garden of freebies, it's a mouthful, which is my lead magnet essentially. So there's a standalone place on my website that is a secret link that only people have if they're subscribed to my email newsletter. But I also have exclusive freebies that go out every Friday. Some are added to the garden, some are not. And that is so that I can keep that loyalty in my emails. So before I had any of that, I offered a 52-page ebook on all of my favorite supplies. Why did I do this? Because one of the main questions that I got over and over again was, what pen is this? What's your favorite paper to use for this? What camera do you use for this? All these questions. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to put together a super thorough guide. And I did. And that's what my main magnet was. But now I've altered it and it's a little bit different. And I say like try different things all the time, because you never know what's going to work and what's not. So rotate them out and see and study your analytics. So, all right. When you feel like you're narrowing down potential offers that you can include in your lead magnet, you want to ask yourself more questions, but this time you want to ask from the point of like the person that's reading it. So, or seeing it, like think about yourself as if you're that person. How will this offer help your readers or add value to their lives? So it helps to kind of switch this around and actually ask yourself, like, if you saw this thing, how will it help you? How will it add value to you in this space and time? Secondly, why would someone need this? And if you have to ask in a way that's like, why would I even need this? That's great, because then it's challenging you to make sure that's something that's valuable. Does this offer solve a problem? Does this offer evoke emotion of any kind? Emotion's huge, you guys. And please don't take advantage of that, because being able to connect with someone on a human level, there's nothing like it. And if you do put out the emotional level of, I'm really big on mental health. So if I dangle that out there, it's like something I want to talk about, So it's not like I'm all about mental health. Yay, here's a planner. It's not that. It's like, yeah, let's get ugly in this. So, okay. All that being said, I want to talk to Nikki. We'll come back to slides in a minute. But Nikki Hess is a member of the flock. She has she changed her lead magnet strategy. Here's Nikki. Here we go. So when she changed her approach, she also saw a 1,200% growth, which I thought was really interesting to see. When I asked her a month later where she was at, and it was literally a 1,200% growth. And by doing that, she identified her end goal. So what was she doing in her business? What was she doing in her company that was relevant? And to her offer, how does that tie in? She prepared a quality product that offered value, and she marketed to her existing audience. So I'm going to just do this technology situation where here I am, and then I get to figure out how to ask Nikki to come on live. So just bear with me. This is not something that, there she is, and invite on screen. And yes, I do. Okay, Nikki, she should be joining us any sec. It's fine. Technology is cool. This is my first time using Crowdcast.
Yay!
I'm really impressed. Yay! Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
I'm so happy you're joining us.
Me too.
So you guys, for those who don't know Nikki, she's incredible. She's super business savvy. She is a learner. She likes to suck up all that information, but she also likes to share it. So if you haven't heard and don't follow her on Instagram, her Instagram is Lavender and Sea, SEA, as is her website. She does beautiful calligraphy, wedding calligraphy, but also portraits of doggies and kitties and places and homes and castles and all sorts of cool stuff. So she's multifaceted and she is so generous with her knowledge. So I'm super excited. I'm going to let her talk and tell you guys about her experience just in that month of what she focused on, how she narrowed in and turned that around to gain more subscribers.
Thanks for that introduction. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you were saying the bad lead magnet, that was me so much. It was like, I said, it was so vague. It was like, if you want freebies and coupons and like information, sign up, and like 5 people signed up. And I won the free mentorship with you for, I think it was last March. And so
the Flock Challenge, or yeah.
And I was saying how I don't know how to grow my email list. And you said, well, you need to have something high value. And then we talked about, obviously I was like you, where people were asking me all the time, what pen did you use for that? How do you make your wood signs? And then you're like, that's a great thing to just add as like a freebie. So I put together that. It's 25 pages long. It probably took almost 2 weeks just because I added in all the affiliate links. And but so once I launched that, I notified the Instagram community or my Instagram followers, and then I got a bunch of signups. Like a lot of people signed up. So I'm about to redo that whole list, but it was a great way to grow my list. And I feel like my email list, I don't have thousands and thousands of people subscribed, but they're very very engaged. I have a really good open rate, and that's what I want. Because I sometimes I'll send an email where I say, if you guys aren't into my content, like unfollow me. Because I had a friend say that she wasn't really into, she's like, oh, well, I don't really like art tutorials. I'm like, well, then like this isn't for you.
Totally. I'm just letting you know I turned my video off because the internet didn't like it. And I heard that was how to help it. Another thing that Nikki did, you guys, was while she was building this list for her subscribers, she was also sharing a ton of behind the scenes on her social media about what she was building to get people excited to get that information. And let me tell you, it got me excited. And I'm like, okay, so I want to be on your list now because I want that. But she was making it so beautiful too. It wasn't just like a Google Doc, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so you definitely inspired me with yours.
I am so glad. Sorry, guys. I'm glad the video is better. I know that the internet can be tricky. So, yeah, so good. So you see that they're engaged, and then I'd love to hear, sorry, it's so weird that you can't see me. I'm sorry. I'd love to hear about what your focus on the redoing it. Are you just redoing the same thing?
Yes. So after last year, I mean, last year was insane. So I primarily work with weddings, but because weddings really didn't happen last year, I'm sorry, I never know where to look on here. So because weddings didn't really happen last year, I had a lot of material, and I found stuff that I like more than what was on the list originally. And there's some things that are on there that are still amazing and I use, but I just wanted to update the list. And then I also wanted to do a freebie of a vendor list, because a lot of times people ask me, what type of wood do you get for your signs, or how do you make cloth wedding signs? So just having that list as well as another freebie.
That's awesome. So see, you guys, she's offering value. She's continuing to stay up on it, which honestly is an awesome idea because then she can let her audience in on it. And then they know that it's being updated and they know that, oh, like the people who didn't see it the first time, they'll then see it now. And yeah, sorry. We're frozen and I don't know why. Thank you, Nikki. That's super, super helpful. I just wanted to share with you guys because it was so fun to be able to watch her grow so substantially. So Nikki, I don't know, you're frozen, so I'm going to close your video, but I thank you so much for joining in. Can you guys see and hear me okay? I know there's probably a lag, but give me a yes. Okay, cool. Thank you, Nikki. So you guys, if you don't, and sorry about the audio stuff, I have my audio actually turned way up because I've had people tell me that there wasn't a good, anyway, it was settings. Okay, so I'll whisper. We'll do some ASMR, AMSR. Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Everybody thank Nikki so much for being here and for sharing her experience. Thank her. So I wanted to talk to her more. My cat, come on, kitty. I'm gonna screen my share my screen one more time. And so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, so this isn't going to be a big sales pitch, okay? We're going to move into Q&A. I just wanted to say that before I did, I wanted to offer all of you early access to the Flock membership before doors reopen. It's full of this type of content exactly. An incredible community. Nikki is part of our community. And you'll be hearing from more members and their progress over the next couple of weeks during these webinars as well. So if you haven't signed up for the other webinars, there's really good information in them, and you'll also hear from more members. So that being said, if you're interested in that, I think I have the link in somewhere in this crowdcast. And then if you don't, it is up on the screen, thepigeonletters.com/flock-early-access. Thank you guys so much for saying that you're in the flock and love it. So yeah, I'm giving you guys early access. That being said, done. I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'm not doing a nasty sales pitch. Here we go. We're in Q&A. I want to answer all of your questions. So I'm going to go into the ask a question area, and then I'll try to go into the chat and see if there's anything there. But please ask inside of the ask a question. Okay, so question here, I think from Hope, right? I'm trying to learn technology. Are one-time freebies for signups a good idea? Is that a good lead magnet, or should it be sign up for this and I give you free stuff once a week, which is great, but not necessarily sustainable? Okay, so my answer to you is yes, one is perfect. You definitely do not need to be, I'm going to make this go away so that we can talk for real. Here we go. You definitely don't need it to be something that you are doing all the time. I do it that way because it makes sense for what I do with education, but you definitely do not need to. I think one is perfect. And just make sure that it makes sense for your offer. I know you guys hear Lucy and probably see her. Okay, then we have Heather, who is asking, if you never had an email list at all, should you start with something like Mailchimp? Okay, so I love this question because I have actually tried so many email platforms. I like them all for different reasons. I started with Mailchimp on their free plan, and I really liked it. Something though, I'm going to tell you just a little my experience. So I started with Mailchimp. They have like really aesthetically pleasing emails. They make it really easy to make things look fun. And I got to a certain point where I was like, I need more out of an email marketing platform. At the time, I think that they have since fixed this, but at the time, Mailchimp was making it so that, don't listen to me now. I'm almost positive they changed this, but when someone subscribed to segments, so let's say for me, I have like, okay, I send people who like Procreate, who are on my Procreate list, something, and I send people who are on like, they like hand lettering, because not everyone's going to like all that stuff. And I want to make sure I segment my list and only send stuff to people that they actually care about. So if I do send an email that is Procreate related, it only goes to those people. But anyway, let's say Jessica is on both of those lists. Mailchimp used to charge for each time, like for each person on each list. So Jessica would have been 2 subscribers for me, even though it was 1 email address. And I think they've changed it since then. Okay. So don't take my word for it. But I switched over to Convertkit, which was, I was not ready for that. I did not know what to expect. I was not ready to take all of that on. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But one of the things that really left kind of I just like was kind of turned off by was that Convertkit, which offers a free plan now, by the way, for under a certain amount of subscribers, it doesn't make it easy to make beautiful emails. And it's very text, like it's a lot of text. And I was doing research on this and I was like, well, how's a way around this? Why don't they offer this? And I landed on one of their articles that was basically saying, we actually have done proof around this and find that our emails are more engaged with if they're text heavy and they're not just like images. And I was like, yeah, right. That's just an excuse, you know? And then I realized and I put it into action. I'm like, I'm going to see how this works. And it was people were much more engaged with my emails when they were more text focused and I was just talking to them versus having all these crazy graphics going on. Because it's really fun to feel branded for sure, but it's not something that is necessary. Just keep that in mind. You could totally use Mailchimp and not have all those graphics, but I'm just saying, is it a good idea to start with something like that? Totally. It's really, really easy to, sorry, this is a really long answer to your question, but it's really easy to export your list and import it into a different email marketing platform if and when you want to. So yeah, starting off with Mailchimp's free plan, Convertkit's free plan. Convertkit is a beast of a machine. You can do so much with it, but it is a learning curve. Just know that. I'm not with Convertkit anymore, and it's not because of that reason. Like I would 100% be with Convertkit still, but my email list now is over 30,000 people, and that price point is very, very high. So I think it was like, when I was like 18,000, it was like almost $200 a month. So I switched to Flowdesk, just as an FYI. If you use anybody's affiliate link to Flowdesk, it will be $19 a month forever, no matter how many subscribers that you have. If you don't use an affiliate link, it's $38 a month. I do have an affiliate link, so if you guys want that, I'll just plug it into the chat. Let's see, what is it? Flowdesk.com/ I don't remember. Okay, I'll look it up while I'm talking about it. So basically, sorry. Yeah, it would be good to start with. If you do have a lot of followers, Flowdesk is great. I will say Flowdesk is lacking a lot of features that feel like they should be a part of email productivity. Here it is. It's flowdesk.com/c/the pigeon letters. That'll give it to you for $19 forever. I use somebody's affiliate link, $19 forever. You will have an affiliate link if you're part of Flowdesk. And what happens when someone signs up under your affiliate link is they will get $19 one time. And then you get 50% off forever. Anyway, Yeah, so it's lacking a lot, but it's still technically in beta. It's just like it's only a handful of years old. So they have a lot of stuff they keep rolling out. So just know that. For me, it's worth it because I'm saving like several $1,000s a year. I'm all about that. So, okay, short answer, yes. Mailchimp's free plan, Convertkit's free plan. There's other free plans out there. Mailchimp's very easy to use. So I say yes. I just realized I didn't say start answering, done answering on that. So if anyone's rewatching this and looking at this question, just rewind like 5 minutes because I answer that forever. Okay, here we go. Renee is asking about the flock. I joined and I'm so happy to be a part of it, but it's so full of info that I get overwhelmed and I'm not sure where to start. What's the best way to go through the posts and info that's already there? This is a really good question. So I will actually just go in myself and I'll share my screen with you so that we can walk through this together. Don't worry, you guys, I'm not going to spend like a ton of time on this because I know that not everybody's here for that. But if you are interested in the flock, enrollment's opening soon. Remember, you get early access right now. I'm just talking while this is loading. Okay. So, nope, not that button. It's fine. What's the best way? Okay, so I really want to say this while I'm showing you. Okay, here we go. Share the screen. Here, here, here. Do you guys see the flock screen? Yes. Yes. Okay. So there is a welcome start here area right here. When you click on that, it's going to open all this stuff up. I say, look at all these lessons. That's start here. Okay. And then when you go back to the categories, the nest is basically like a landing space for like quick references. Some of them do and some of them don't live within the rest of these categories. It's just a quick space. Your monthly challenges all live in monthly challenges, live chats and master sessions. You'll see all the master sessions here and all the live chat replays here, along with some like random workshops and stuff. I'll probably plug these webinars in there. Just to go over like the stuff that's important about email. Pep Talk, I would watch this right away, but then everything else, I know there's a lot in this stuff. So like if you open Peacock and there's all this stuff. The nice thing is, you see how it says 3 out of 207 lessons completed? That's my own. I mean, I work on the back end, not the front end of this stuff, but basically you can go in and see the lesson and then you can mark it complete at the bottom here. And then you know you've watched it. So that's a really good way to keep track. But there's not necessarily like what's the word I'm looking for, where you are supposed to go from point A to point Z. So it's meant to be a community. There is information and content being added every single week. So you'll find, an umpteen amount of resources, but I try to categorize it so that you have self-discovery and experimentation, which is like the Finch area. So this is like people who are doing hobbyist stuff, like people who are interested in networking and, but just kind of in the beginning stage of that. And then exposure and networking. This is where like you want to start getting yourself out there. Art and business resources, you're probably doing some version of art as either side income, full income. There's a ton of stuff in here about licensing, about reaching your target market, about the proper way to pitch emails, pricing breakdowns, so much stuff. And it's just constantly added to. And then Raven is like accountability and motivation, but it gets more into that. So like avoiding burnout, what to do if clients hire you, don't provide a contract, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So everything in here is applicable to everyone. It's just more, there's many lessons there. It's just more based off of like where you are at, what kind of stuff you want to find. There's also a search feature, so you can just plug in like, licensing, and then you're going to find everything that is available in licensing. So you can do that as well. In addition, the content lineup has everything that you need. So you'll see each month has a theme. So, but then those themes are not in like a category, because I felt like rather than having themes, it made more sense to have them in spaces that would make sense for like the end goal. Because I think all of this stuff is important. So anyway, you can download this, and then the part 1, part 2, all of this information is stuff that's already in the flock, and then it's constantly being added to. Everything that's just added is here and clickable. Everything that's about to be added is down below on the sidebar. But anyway, that is kind of like an inside look. And then of course we have our community tab, where the welcome videos, by the way, that I just showed, or the welcome portion, will talk about all of this stuff in detail also. So it's kind of telling you what I'm saying right now, but it's also going to be a lot more specific as far as like, okay, well, if you're in the flock community, you can filter by these topics, etc. So it's going to go over all that stuff. But my suggestion to you, where is it? Right here. My suggestion to you is watch the welcome segment and then work at your own pace. So if that means watching, 2 lessons in a row, they're short lessons. Some of them are like 40 minutes, some of them are 4 minutes. It just depends. Sometimes it's like document heavy. So there's downloads and things like that. Thank you, Stephanie. So it just depends like on that kind of stuff. And what I'm trying to do is both give you valuable information that's going to help you eventually, but also help you right now, depending on what it is. So I say, don't feel overwhelmed by it. It's there as you need it, when you need it. You don't have to mark stuff complete. I actually was telling somebody recently not to mark stuff as complete, because that way you can revisit it. It's not like dismissed, but I do have that so that people know like, wait, where did I leave off? Okay, so I hope that that's helpful. I don't want to keep shoving the block in people's faces in case that's not why you're here. But if you want to know a secret, that's why I'm doing these webinars, is to tease the flock, but also give you guys valuable content. How often should you, there we go. Melissa, how often should you change your lead magnet? So I haven't changed my lead magnet for like a year. I don't think it's necessarily. But if it's like, oh, you want to attract new eyes, I would say every quarter would be great. You don't need to do it more than that, because if you think about how many times people visit a site, and then you think about like, how many times does somebody have to see a thing before it starts to resonate? So if someone visits your site like 3 times in 2 months, they're going to see that each time. And maybe they didn't sign up the first time or the second time, but they might sign up the 3rd time. And then what if that person didn't sign up at all and they visit your site again in 5 months and the lead magnet's different, and maybe last time it didn't resonate with them, but this time it does. So I think quarterly, but that's my personal opinion. I think that it could be totally up to you. It could be 6 months. It could be never. Yeah. So it depends on what it is you're offering. If it's like a one-off freebie, don't underestimate either the power of just changing what the graphic looks like. You could still offer the same content and just change the graphic and have it look different. So you do that too, because it's very visual, these elements, and that's kind of what stimulates us as humans, like the visual element of something. Okay, and then Hope is asking, what's a good alternative to Mailchimp, and can I sign up with a new service and quote transfer my subscribers to another service? A good alternative to Mailchimp, and can I sign up with a new service? Okay, yes, you can sign up. It's very easy to export your list. Like every site makes it very easy to export, and it's called I always get this wrong. It's like CVS or CSV, one of those documents. It'll download that. It usually sends it to you in an email because it has to like generate. And then you download it. And then whatever the new platform is, it will let you import it and then usually ask you like the fields, and the fields are already there on your spreadsheet, which is that CVS or, oh, thank you, Jen, CSV. Hi, Jen. So it'll have that in there, and you just assign like this field's going to be for this field and then call it a day. And then as far as like alternatives, there are alternatives. There's like Convertkit, totally different. But Flowdesk is really similar, but I don't think they have a free plan. I think it's just like that one set price. I also know people who have used like Constant Contact. I've never used it myself. And then Hopes, yeah. Oh, you said you're going to use Flowdesk. Okay, cool. Yes, Flowdesk, I love it. And it's really easy to import your subs there. So cool, that answered that. Okay, what other kinds, oh wait, start answering, there we go. Megan, what other kinds of emails should I send out to give value? I'm an artist and do digital art primarily, but I'm not a teacher. What kinds of things do you think that I could put in my email list once people sign up? This is a really good question. I think of this as more of like so as artists, you could offer a digital print to get people in. You could offer that once a month, maybe like a phone, like a desktop and phone wallpaper. So some people are like, oh, here's your monthly wallpaper, and then they can assign it. And like people love doing that because it's like a monthly collection of what you offered. I would be careful about having too high of a resolution. Obviously, if it's like a big desktop one, you'd have to have a higher resolution because these screens are huge these days. As you see, I'm looking all over the place when I'm multitasking. But also, like, I know some people will do like an art print maybe once a month, and the option to have it like a format for an art print, like 8x10, no higher than that. Just like if someone tries to blow it up, it's going to be grainy. Don't let them do it. Just keep it at that. And then, I mean, it's up to you, but do what I say. Just kidding. And then like a phone wallpaper or something. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to offer freebies after the fact at all. You don't. As an artist, your lead magnet could be you're going to have first access. So Sylvan Clay Works, for those of you who follow her, she is a ceramist. She makes beautiful palettes and paint water jars, amongst other things. And her email list, like she sells out of all of her stuff within like under 10 minutes every time she does a launch. And it's so beautiful. So she's built this platform, and her email list is literally just either updates or a password for people to get in to buy first when it launches before the general public. So it could just be as simple as early access. It doesn't have to be freebies. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then I have one, anonymous. I feel like I have a good lead magnet, but I'm struggling on driving people on Instagram and Facebook to actually go to my website to sign up. How do I actually drive them there? Maybe I'm not pushing it hard enough. If you even think maybe I'm not pushing it hard enough, that's your answer. It is so hard for us as creatives. We have a different type of mind. So it's super difficult for us as creatives to be in that space where we're like, okay, I'm going to push this thing. It's hard. Like I'm really, really bad at it. I'm going to just be candid with you. So I'm doing the Flock launch. It's reopening the doors, letting people in. It's the first time that I'm doing a big launch since it was first started last January. And I was like, I don't want to send a million emails. It's like the Flock's open again. Hey, join the Flock, So I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to offer value. I'm going to offer webinars. I'm going to do this. And this was all planned 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 3 days ago. And here we are together. I'm offering value. So kind of like that. So I was able to lead people. I am able to lead people to the Flock by offering this type of content. Now, education or not, you don't have to be an educator, but what you can do on Instagram or Facebook is say something like, you know, have a story where you are working behind the scenes, or you're showing somebody like, oh, I had somebody ask me about what I include in my whatever, or hey, you know, let's say it's a supply list. Wait, what is, I can't ask because it's on this thing. It's not a chat. Okay. Assuming that your lead magnet is like, let's say it's an art print. Let's say it's just simple. It's an art print, downloadable printable art print. That's what it is. Okay. So let's say that's what it is. And you, whether or not you had somebody actually ask you this question, because how many times do we hear, so a lot of you have been asking lately. It's like you had that question like one time a month ago. It's okay. I'm guilty. We're all guilty, but you know, but it's of interest. So it's like, okay, I had this question about my art print, or let's say like that's how you want to raise awareness that you have this thing that people should sign up for to get. It's your art print. Okay. What type, let's say, think about what somebody's going to do with that art print, or what are they going to do once they download it? So say, so I wanted to share with you guys about the freebie that I'm offering on my website. Like you could do this on a caption. You could do it, with a video. The video could be on the art. And they say, people are wondering, what's the best paper to print on? Or should I outsource this? So I wanted to share, this is you. So I wanted to share my thoughts on my favorite paper that I like to print my prints on. And this is where it really boosts the colors in my leaves or something. So it's talking up your offer, but doing it in a way that is more like answering what actual questions would be. Like, or if you don't do that, you could send it to, I saw somebody say the words POD, but I didn't know what it was referring to, but like print on demand type of sites. So like you could outsource it. This is my favorite POD site. They'll print this up for you really beautifully on fine art paper, blah, blah, blah. Do you need hand puppets? Have you seen What About Bob? Oh my gosh. What About Bob? Anyway, if you've seen it, you know, okay. It's like my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing. Like full hand puppets. Okay. I know, right? It's so good. Okay. So what am I saying? Basically, you're featuring what your offer is while answering questions that may or may not exist. Okay. And that way it's not, hey, I'm offering this freebie if you sign up for my email list. Hey, I'm offering this freebie if you sign up for my email list. Hey, sign up for my email list. You're going to get this freebie. Like you're engaging in the next step before they even know that they're wondering that. So it's like, oh, I could do that. Like, oh, I have this kind of printer, or like, oh, I never thought about printing on that. Or you could say like, I was recently playing around with different framing options and I ended up making my print in a cylindrical form. And now it's in this round frame that I actually used to be a mirror. And now it's my art print that I offer as my freebie. Like stuff like that is a much more organic way to drive people to you. Okay, done. I got ideas for days. Okay. We have a question. What if you don't have any followers and no list? So this is where I think that it's really helpful to, I know it's like hashtag discovery does work and it also doesn't work because let's be real, algorithm. Network with people. So relationship marketing. So if you have something that you can offer, so for example, the Pigeon Letters is my website. I have artists every single Thursday come in and do a tutorial or step-by-step. However, I also have artists come in and they know that I offer freebies every Friday. So they then offer me a freebie sometimes that I can offer my audience on their behalf. And so it typically looks like this. I won't send out personally, like on the Pigeon Letters, we don't send out emails. I'm going to try to stop talking with my hands because my arms are actually getting tired. So I'm still doing it. All of the Freebie Friday emails, they get them. They're already subscribed to my list. They don't have to do any extra action in order to download them. So what I've done with artists in the past is, and I'm more than happy to offer, the Pigeon Letters has a huge email list, and I'm more, you guys, if you contact me, I am so happy to send freebies out on your behalf. But here's the formula that's going to work for it. Offer the freebie, and in my email that goes out, we will, this is what we're going to do. This is our plan. We're going to make sure that what am I saying? The freebie has more to it, basically. So you're giving them a teaser of more of the freebie. So you're giving them a thing. It's through the Pigeon Letters. It's something of value. And then let's say it's an art print. I'm just trying to be really basic. So it can apply to anybody. So let's say it's an art print, or we don't really offer, we don't do art stuff necessarily. Okay, let's say it's a sticker pack. So you made a stick, because I did this with Oris Edu, who's an awesome artist. She made a digital sticker pack. You could do one that could be printable, whatever. And I sent that out on her behalf. And then I made sure that in the download, it's like, okay, and then there's this like massive pack, which was really like 2 or 3 more pages of stickers, maybe with something else or something that's relevant where they're going to get even more. And then by clicking, click here to grab the rest of the set or something. And that's going to then take them to your lead magnet page, your main page. And all it's going to say, it's going to be like a landing page format. And all it's going to say is, which email address would you like your download sent to, basically, like with a picture of what it is. Not like sign up to get this. You don't want sign up to get this. It's like, let us know what email to send this to. We've already got them in there. It was very specific how they got there. So we already know all of that. And that is next up. So that's what I would do. I would network with people, find people who can work on your behalf. And how does that offer value to them? So that might be a pitch you need to do as well. So if you were pitching me, it's, hey, I know you send freebies out every single week. Let me take a load off of you one week and give you something that you can then provide to your audience. And that's the same thing with our tutorials. So I have a new artist every single Thursday coming in to do art tutorials, because I want to make sure I'm constantly providing art tutorials. So A, it's getting those artists in front of people, but B, it's less work for me. Like, I'm all about that. And you know who else is? Every blogger on the planet. So that is my suggestion. Okay, next question is, how exactly does first access work? Is it just announced to email subscribers before social media? Yeah, so like, basically, yes. So wherever else you might exist on the web, email subscribers will get first dibs on basically everything before anybody even hears about it on social. Or they might hear about it, but they might know that like it's exclusively going to open like 3 hours early or 1 day early or 3 days early to email subscribers before generally, or something like that. And that would be like a separate link or password protected. So for example, what I'm doing here with my my soft sell, you guys want to be a part of the flock, I promise. But what I'm doing is I'm just offering a link. I don't have a password. I just duplicated my entire landing page and actually made the sign up links available, which are not on the main flock page. So you guys have the early access one. You can sign up now before it reopens, because that's more fun. Anyway, yes, that. Okay. This one, no, that was just a random, because no black screen. That was a while ago. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that one. And then at the end, can you share Nikki's proof page you had before she came on? Yeah, I can put that up real quick. Where's my page? Oh, come on. I'm saying that to myself. I can't even find it, but I did put it back on, I think. Let me know. Huma, the replay will be available. Okay. Here we go. Jen. I have 2 very different audiences, fine art collectors which can be expensive paintings, and then Skillshare, private tuition students. I struggle with an email that can fit all, so I quit trying. I know I might lose the audience by asking it sign up which segment they want via Mailchimp, but it might be my only option. I feel like I'm adding hurdles by asking their preference. Maybe too big of a question for here. No, I don't think it is too big of a question for here, only because I think that could be super relevant to a lot of people and a lot of us. So, because a lot of us like to do different things. So I have here's what I do. And they are very different things. So some people anyway, okay, here's what I do. I have people come in, they're on the newsletter, and then I have the newsletter as a segment. That's where all my freebies go. That's where all of them, okay? But then I have segments based off of everything else. So I have a trigger. So when people sign up for my newsletter, it triggers all of the other ones automatically. It's automatically up. And what I do is every single time I have an email out, let's say it's Procreate. It's the best example that I have because not everybody has an iPad and not everybody uses Procreate or digital art. If they do have whatever, not everybody cares. So that's my example. So what I do is from the very, very beginning is Mailchimp probably has an even better solution to this, where you could probably click a button to opt out of that segment. But I would recommend in the very beginning of the email to say, hey, everybody, I have a fun announcement. Quick note, if you're not interested in hearing about classes that I'm offering, just click this button and it'll remove you from this segment, and you'll still receive my other emails, not everything else. You don't want to sound like it's so much email, but you'll still receive my other content, but you'll never receive these emails again. I just want to make sure I'm only giving you what you care about. And that's literally how I word it. And I don't have a click this link to do that because Flowdesk doesn't have that capability yet. It does if you work in a workflow, but I'm not going to send every email as a workflow as a separate segment. It's just too much of a workaround. So what I do is I say, just respond to this email with unsubscribe Procreate. That's all you have to say. And then I just worded the exact same thing. So that's what I do. And then people can get right off of that, and then they're still in, and I don't have to do this big, which one do you want to be a part of or anything like that. It's just straightforward. So maybe that helps. You're saying I signed up to you and then opted out of the Procreate stuff, but now I have Procreate, so emailed you to opt back in. We can make it happen. Oh my gosh, Procreate's fun. Okay. And then last question here. How did you go about creating your own line of products and brushes? Okay, you guys, this is something I talk about in the flock. This is not about email. She's asking, it seems like a huge feat and the world of production is super overwhelming. Actually, it's interesting that you asked that because in February, the very first guest that we had, the master session is Kestrel from Ink Me This, who does her entire own production of everything. So we're going to get into it really soon. Are you part of the flock? All I see is the name Jillian, so I don't know. But yeah, if you are, just wait, literally in a couple weeks. No, it's not there yet. It's okay. It's okay. Literally in just a couple weeks, it's going to be live, and we do a deep dive. It's fun. It was a great conversation. So, okay, you guys, I really value your time. We went a little over an hour, but I really wanted to give you guys that info. Again, sleazy sales pitch about joining the flock. It's not sleazy though. Look at the chat. Everybody loves the flock. And you're going to get a lot of this kind of stuff, but a lot of really valuable stuff. So think about this email stuff. Rewatch this if you need to. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And we have 4 more of these. So if you're not signed up for those, then go do it now. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm glad it's helpful. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. All right. I'll talk to you soon.